Hello and welcome to our live talk on new courses at ATU Sligo. My name is Sarah Kearns and I'm the Online Marketing Officer here at ATU Sligo and I'll be your host for this talk. So today I'm joined by Paul Nolan, Clinical Lecturer at ATU Sligo and cardiac physiologist. Welcome, Paul.
How are you? Thank you.
I'll also be joined by Mary Butler, Programme Coordinator for our online biopharmaceutical science programs and Certificate in Bioindustry 4.0 program at ATU Sligo. Welcome, Mary.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Patrick Sweeney, Business Development and Account Coordinator for Civil Engineering Construction Programs at ATU Sligo. Welcome, Paddy.
Good evening, everybody.
So today we'll be chatting about some of the newly launched online part-time courses at ATU Sligo. So each year the team at ATU Sligo research and develop new online and part-time programs to support upskilling in a range of areas in demand by industry, enterprise and the community. So we work closely with employers and employees to ensure that our courses are closely aligned to industry demand. So we've had a very busy time of it recently. So since the 1st of April 2022, IT Sligo has recently partnered with GMIT and LYIT to form Atlantic Technological University. So we were formerly online learning at IT Sligo, and now we're online and flexible learning at ATU Sligo. So before I get started, I just need to mention some housekeeping. Our session will be recorded, but attendees will not be visible. Our talk will last for 20 minutes. We're not taking questions within this talk. However, if you want to head over to our live Q&A section of our virtual Open Even platform, you can submit any questions there and our team will get back to you, or you can email admissions@itsligo.ie. So firstly, we'll go to you, Paul. Can you tell me about the new Masters in Clinical Physiology Measurement Level 9 course in your department and give us an overview of what the program is all about?
Yeah, I suppose this is slightly different because it's a full-time course, but it's the first level 9 qualifications, a master's conversion program. So people with a related degree can train up as clinical measurement physiologists. And this is a nice course because the first semester is based in Sligo, and then semester 2, 3 and 4 are all on clinical placement supported by lectures and tutorials, which will be delivered online. So you'll be in your placement site and not having to trek back and forth to college.
Okay, perfect. And so this program, it's newly launched, but it's open now for applications for a September 2022 start.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect. So can you tell me about the skills demand for a program like this?
Well, I suppose the skills demand is huge. There's a national shortage of clinical physiologists. I suppose who are clinical physiologists, I suppose, is the first question. So they're people who work directly with patients, performing, reporting, and acting on diagnostic tests. So if you think about a patient, we work in 5 disciplines and we specialize in one: gastrointestinal, vascular, neurophysiology, respiratory, and cardiac. So if you think about maybe someone who had a stroke, so a vascular physiologist would do an ultrasound on the carotids to see if that might be the cause of their stroke. A cardiac physiologist would do an ultrasound of the heart to see if a clot might be coming from the heart, and do a 72-hour heart monitor to see if it's an irregular heart rhythm that might have led to that. Think about something like chest pain, you might immediately think the heart, but actually chest pain, shortness of breath. It could be a GI issue down to reflux. It could be down to problems with esophageal motility, and gastrointestinal physiologists look at that in terms of diagnostics. And or chest pain or shortness of breath could be respiratory, or even could be a vascular issue, such as a tear in the major artery that goes from the heart down to the rest of the body. So I suppose if you think about the 11 most common reasons people present to hospital, at least one of our diagnostic tests is needed in those scenarios. So it's a really patient-facing role, vital to the patient pathway. And there's a huge shortage. So there's currently 25 vacancies in Ireland listed. There's probably more. In the UK, in England, Wales NHS, there's 92 vacancies. In Australia, there is 63 vacancies on LinkedIn. And there's, you can literally go to the Middle East, work tax-free. I know 2 people who have done that. So there's a huge demand nationally and internationally. And the HSC are rolling out diagnostic hubs. So there's a call immediately for nearly 60 clinical measurement physiologists working in different disciplines to support those diagnostic hubs, which will give open access or direct access to GPs.
Oh, brilliant. So lots of opportunities there then, Paul. Yeah. So then who should apply for this program? Like, what are the entry requirements for it?
So the entry requirements are you need a minimum of a 2.2 in a level 8 relevant qualification. So typically you'll need to have a significant amount of human anatomy and physiology in there. Certainly at level 6, level 7, you'll need exposure to the core science subjects, so maths, biology, chemistry, physics. However, if you're in doubt, get in touch with the admissions office. There might be some recognition of prior learning as well there that we can look at. So don't sort of think that this is a role I'd like to pursue, and maybe my initial qualification isn't there or doesn't provide me access. Get in touch and we can advise you.
Okay, brilliant. So then what level of commitment is needed, like between what lectures, work placement, assignments? Can you give us an overview of how much time will have to be dedicated to the program?
Yeah, so I suppose you've got to remember this is a full-time course. So essentially your first semester is Sligo based. Your second semester will be 2 minor placements in 2 of the 5 disciplines, and that's 300 hours of clinical placement time supported by 1 hour of online lecture, 1 hour of online tutorial. And for your minor placements, it's about 5 hours of self-directed learning. But you'll be potentially in placement over somewhere between 8 and 11 weeks, depending on how the placement is delivered. And then in semester 3, you'll do your third minor placement. So again, a similar commitment. And then your major placement, the placement in which you'll be expected to work in. So if you major in vascular, for example, you would expect to take up a position as a vascular physiologist. That's 480 hours of clinical placement, 2 hours of online lectures, 1 hour of online tutorial, and about 9 hours of self-directed learning.
Okay, perfect. So any advice for anyone considering studying this course, or anything that graduates have gone on to do following their study?
So look, I'm hugely passionate about, like I worked for 22 years as a cardiac physiologist, hugely passionate about that patient-facing role. So if you're interested in working with patients with a good degree of responsibility and autonomy, it's the role for you. You can be hospital-based. Now you have the opportunity to be community-based. And then also graduates very often move into as technical consultants for medical device companies. So like Medtronic, Boston, people, one of the things we manage in cardiology, for example, is people with implantable devices. And people move into those roles as clinical specialists, or move into other areas such as ultrasound as clinical specialists. So there's roles out of the sort of healthcare environment into the companies as well.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. That's great, Paul. Thank you. And that program is open for application now for September 2022 start.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. Thanks, Paul. So Mary, can you tell me about the new Certificate in Bioindustry 4.0 Level 9 course, and just give us an overview of what the program is all about?
Thanks, Sarah. So this is a brand new program that we're running in conjunction with NIBRT, which is the National Institute for Bioprocessing Research and Training, based in Dublin. So we run a lot of our biopharma suite of programs in conjunction with NIBRT from level 6, level 7, level 8 and level 9. And we've been running a Masters in Biopharmaceutical Science and related level 9 certificates for probably 12 to 15 years at this point. And on an annual basis, we review the skills needs within the industry. And what we've been hearing in the last 2 years is that there is really a skills needs in the area of digitalization. So this is where the concept for the Industry 4.0 came from. So it's the fourth industrial revolution, I suppose. And because we're developing it in the biopharma suite of programs, thus the name Bioindustry 4.0. So we have spent the last probably 1.5 to 2 years developing this program, and the commencement date will be September 2022. This program has actually been Springboard funded. It's a 30 credit cert at level 9 on the National Framework of Qualifications. It's 100% continuous assessment, and it is Springboard funded, which makes it very attractive for students. Now, it is aimed particularly at people that are working in the biopharma industry. So it's aimed at, scientists and engineers, and we would be looking for people with a level 8 prior qualification in science or engineering for entry into the program. We will have a progression plan for the program in that in the future, because we have a suite of level 9 certificates already in biopharma, that one will be able to progress and complete another level 9 certificate and exit with a postgrad diploma, or ultimately do a dissertation and exit with a master's in this area. So I suppose that, you know, the government have a strategy, an industry 4.0 strategy, and with that in mind, and also NIBRT and the Boston Consulting Group, BCG, have opened the first in world innovation centre in NIBRT Dublin in the last 12 months. So we would hope that a visit to this facility would be part of this programme for the students participating, so that they'd be able to see firsthand some of the concepts.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
that's great. That was actually my next question then. So is there a workshop and kind of on-site training that students can expect to undertake as part of this programme?
Yeah, so the program is 100% online. So it's online part-time. It's not a full-time program. So it's online part-time. So the students are taking 15 credits per semester run from September to January, and semester 2 running from January to May. So students are finished before the summer. So typically in the first semester, there's 3 5-credit modules, and then in the second semester, there's a 5-credit module and a 10-credit module. In the second semester, once students have learned a lot of the, I suppose, the theory and the definitions and the lingo around Industry 4.0, there is an interesting module there on bioindustry data and digital technologies. That's the 10-credit module. And as part of that module, we would anticipate that there would be a day's visit to the NIBRT Industry Bioinnovation Centre in Dublin, so that students could see some of the technologies firsthand.
Brilliant. And I know when people are researching their programs and they're kind of going to apply for an online part-time program, one of the questions we always get is how much time they'll have to dedicate to their studies as well. So can you give a kind of overview on how much time students will have to dedicate to their online learning?
Yeah, so what we advise students typically is that for every 5-credit module, that they would need to consider between 5 and 7 hours per week for that 5-credit module. So if you're taking this program, the optimum route is 3 modules in semester 1. That would mean that you're spending somewhere between 15 to 21 hours that you'd be dedicating on a weekly basis to the program. But that comes in peaks and troughs. So the first few weeks of the program, it's going to be a lot lighter. You're gathering knowledge and you're attending lectures. And then the assessment component kicks in probably in week 4, 5, 6 onwards. And then towards the end of the semester, that's when you're ready to do the research project element of that module. And that's really when the peak of the time is required.
Okay, and like just to offer flexibility then, our online learning lectures are always recorded and people can watch back then at a time that suits them. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, we have students from all over the world and students that, you know, are on secondment to different locations, different time zones. So all of the lectures are recorded and can be downloaded and listened to on the move. And likewise, we time the assessment so that students can access them from wherever they are remotely. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Mary. And then lastly, any advice for anyone considering studying this course or anything that graduates have gone on to follow in their study?
Yeah, so it's a brand new program. Okay. I suppose, you know, it's aimed at people that, you know, that are in manufacturing, quality, engineering, or site management positions within the biopharma sector. So the biopharma sector in Ireland is a very, you know, very large sector and a very lucrative sector. There's something like 45,000 jobs in the sector in Ireland at the moment, and it's very much a growing industry. And we see that the nature of medicines and biologics, you know, the products are changing, and this industry is changing very rapidly, and the technology is changing very rapidly. And in order to make it more, I suppose, efficient and cost effective and keep up to pace for the biopharma industry, you know, we need to adopt new technologies, and that's why digitization has become extremely important for companies. So there would be a shortage, a skills shortage of people that have training in the area of, you know, data integration and data capture and digitization in the biopharma sector, certainly at the moment. So there should be great job opportunities in the coming years in this area for graduates.
Yeah. Great that it's Springboard approved as well, actually. Mary, so that's great. We had a talk there earlier on Springboard, but if anyone has any Springboard questions, you can head over to our live Q&A section and ask any questions about this course and Springboard courses as well. That's brilliant, Mary. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
So next up, Patrick, can you tell me about new courses launching soon in the Civil Engineering and Construction Department at ATU Sligo, and just give us an overview of what these programs are about?
Yeah, we've 4 courses launching, Sarah, as follows. I suppose there's the Bachelor of Science in Property Services and Facilities Management, which is at level 7, and embedded in that is a level 7 cert in auctioneering and estate agency practice. We have our Bachelor of Science Honours in Facilities Management and Sustainable Building Services at level 8, and we have a Bachelor of Science Honours in Real Estate Development and Valuation at level 8. I suppose important, these courses or these programs are progression pathways for our current students in the higher cert in property services and facilities management. They're 2 specialised professions which give students an opportunity to study, I suppose, in both fields, and also then approach further study at level 8 in one of the specialised areas. In recent, excuse me, in recent years, there's been a major emphasis on green buildings, energy efficiency management in buildings, sustainable building and management. And as such, there are now, I suppose, synergies between property services, in particular agency, valuations and management, facilities management and building services, and the whole life cycle of buildings. You know, the costing of that life cycle, energy management of those buildings are really crucial for clients and investors. And I suppose a lot of that is feeding in from climate change and environmental targets for companies, and also mandated targets that every country has. I suppose what is property services? It covers auctioneering, estate agency, property management, property valuations, and planning for all types of properties such as residential housing stock, apartment blocks, commercial properties such as retail, offices, industrial, development land, hotels, and other trading assets. And then on the facilities management side, it deals with both hard and soft facilities management. So there's asset management, property maintenance, and facilities management. A facilities manager in the sphere would deal with again life cycle costings, maintenance, energy management, introduction of new renewable technologies into building, and then looking at the risk and the cost management side of things. It even goes down into the legal management of legal requirements in buildings, and also health and safety aspects as well, you know, fires, etc.
Brilliant. And so do you have any kind of timeline on when these courses will be launched, Paddy?
They're just going through academic council approval in the next couple of weeks, Sarah. So we're hoping for a September 2022 intake, so this coming September.
Brilliant. And so can you tell me about entry requirements and who should apply for these programs?
So at level 7, the level 7 programs, applicants must have a minimum on the National Framework of Qualifications level 6. So a higher cert in a related field or equivalent. On the level 8, we would be saying that applicants must have a minimum of a level 7 on the National Framework of Qualifications. Now there is obviously as well, there's a RPL, that's possible recognition of prior learning. You know, a portfolio of prior experience or prior qualifications can be put together, dealing with the course coordinator to see is there any possibility of entry for candidates with, you know, significant industry experience or relevant experience who may not meet the specific criteria on it.
Okay. Are there workshops, guest lectures? Can students be based anywhere and take on these programs?
Yeah, there's no workshops, Sarah, and we would have guest lectures once or twice a semester from really industry relevant operators. You can be based anywhere. The course itself is fully online, 100% online, and exams can be facilitated online for example, students who are based abroad. You'll obviously need access to internet, laptop, and smartphone and all that. But 100% online is the kind of the unique selling point on this one. All right.
Okay. And then any advice for anyone considering studying any of these courses?
I suppose they're fantastic courses, and a lot of work has been put into them to make them, industry relevant. They allow graduates to once chartered to go ahead and go on and work anywhere in the world. They're pretty specialized, but there's various job opportunities available, which would lead to an exciting career with plenty of opportunities. They offer graduates flexible and varied working locations. You could find yourself in the office one day to visiting on-site locations or clients' properties and on another day. And there's a pretty unique mix of construction and business within the course. So you're looking at the management of contracts, the management of budgets, accounting aspects, valuations, but you're also communicating with stakeholders all the time. You're negotiating, and you're out there surveying, measuring, planning and reporting. So there's kind of a mixed bag in there, but there's good opportunities out there, and I said it's varied. It's taking you from the desk to on-site locations on a regular basis. The course offers potential careers at both level 7 and level 8 for global firms, but also regional firms. We would say that level 9 and level 10 is not really required for most career paths within the industry. And in recent times, we've seen students that have undertaken the courses and have recently graduated from our level 6 program have secured jobs in companies such as CBRE, KBC Bank, Armark, Cushman and Wakefield, Sherry Fitzgerald, DNG, and a variety of, estate management positions within universities, within hospitals, colleges, and also a big, listening to the speakers there, we have a massive pharmaceutical industry in this country. And all of those buildings need to be managed. And that's what the skills within these programs and these courses allow people to do.
Great. Okay. And if anyone wants to be notified whenever these programs are launched, they can head over to our new courses webpage on the Online Learning Hub at the ATU Sligo website. And whenever the courses are launched, we will notify you when they're open for application. Brilliant. So I think we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Paul, Mary, and Patrick for being our panelists this evening. There was lots of really good information shared there. So if people would like to watch back, we'll upload a video of this live talk to our virtual event Open Evening webpage, and you'll be able to watch back. So if you have any questions regarding this talk, any of our new courses, head over to our live Q&A section, and our team will be available to answer your questions until 9 p.m. this evening. You can also visit our new courses section on our virtual Open Evening webpage and view all the courses launched in 2022 and 2023. Brilliant. Thanks for joining, and we'll chat soon. Thanks, guys.